What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today we're gonna tackle this rusty, greasy, sooty, filthy barbecue offset smoker. Coming up. When it comes to cleaning your barbecue pit, there's a few people out there that say, why would you ever clean your pit? You're just gonna wash away all that flavor. And I'm here to tell you that there is a big difference between a seasoned pit and a filthy pit. That being said, today I'm gonna show you how I go about cleaning an offset smoker. We're gonna talk about why you need to do it. I'll probably also clean this table while I'm at it and talk all about how I clean cutting boards and mini chud boxes and all sorts of things. So, that being said, that's what we're gonna talk about today, and it is going to be filthy. The main reason you want to keep your pit clean is because all that fat and grease and juices and seasoning that fall off your meat during the cook tend to collect in the bottom of these things. While the majority of it tends to leak out through the drainage holes, a lot of it stays in there. We'll see that in a minute. And not only can all that fat go rancid if not taken care of properly, if it catches on fire and starts a grease fire inside your pit, you're in for a real bad day. Another reason too is all that creosote that builds up on the inside of the pit and on the door, which we're going to look at first. If it gets bad enough, it can start flaking off in big chunks and getting on your food, and you don't want to be eating that. That is straight up carbon and probably not very good for you. So that being said, let's take a look at this pit real quick. Some of the maintenance I do pretty regularly is cleaning out all this ash. This is just from the last cook, and as you can see, there's a pretty good amount in there. That's why I've got all these buckets on the side over here. Just fill those up, put them in a trash bag, get rid of them. Top of this firebox is pretty rusty, but I hit it with spray every now and again, so it's not too bad. There's no signs of pitting or rust through or anything like that, so this is still in pretty good shape. And this is the main reason that I really like to clean out the pits, is because these grates are just atrocious. You can see there's a lot of buildup on there. And as I've said in the last few videos, it leaves a lot of soot marks on your food, which you definitely don't want. So these are probably going to be what we tackle first. And then of course you got all this creosote buildup on the inside and on this door right here. And again, this is not that bad. I've seen a lot worse where it starts to flake up and chip off, but we're going to take care of that as well. But first, let's get started with these grates. Wire brush comes in real handy. You can get these all over the place. You've seen these before. And much like cleaning the counters before you clean the floor, we're going to start with the grates inside the smoker so it contains all the soot so we don't make a mess of the patio back here. But I'm just simply going to go around and hit this, and you can see it's all falling down immediately. Not much to it. This is also something you can do in between cooks. Always a good idea, except a lot of people are pretty skeptical about these wire brushes because the bristles can fall off and stay on the grate and get in your food. So I try not to use them too much unless I'm doing a deep clean like this, because we're going to rinse this thing out and clean these grates a lot more thoroughly. So I'm not really worried about these wire brushes getting anywhere. But because I have plenty of angle grinders lying around, another great option is the wire brush wheel. I have a few of these floating around that I use exclusively for cleaning grates, and they just pop right on the old angle grinder here and make real quick work of cleaning your pits inside and out. This is also great for cleaning the inside and the doors. And as you can see, that was a lot more effective. So highly recommend that if you've got an angle grinder lying around. These grates are looking pretty good, but that's only one side. So while it's still in the smoker, I'm gonna go ahead and flip this over so we can get the underside. And again, I could do this all later with the power washer, but the reason I'm doing it in here is to contain all of this soot. And yeah, this is gonna be a real dirty day. And just like that, these are looking a lot better. Still not perfect, but we'll address these in a little bit. Also, it's at this time you can see how janky my first pit build ever was. This isn't even framed in, it's just a piece of expanded. So I'm gonna throw this onto the ground with some force. And that's just gonna help shake off any of the extra. And poor pit design number 2, these aren't even attached. These are just floating in there. Man, those extra filthy now that we just took all that soot off those grates. But it does make it really easy for cleaning that these come right on out. So actually, before I take these out, I'm gonna hit these with the wire brush as well. And then we'll tackle all the chud at the bottom of this pit. All right, now that the grates are out, let's focus on all the creosote lining these walls. And as I was saying, the wire wheel brush is really great for getting this upper door up top here, but as far as this inside goes, it can be a little bit tricky. So a really great tool is the classic bench scraper. Just scrape it all off. And again, we're not trying to go down to bare steel here. We're just trying to get off all the stuff that could flake off into your food. So I'm gonna just go around with this bench scraper and this flathead shovel, and I'm just gonna scrape down the sides all the way around, try to get this back edge, get the collector as well, and I'll probably take the wire wheel to the upper door here. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of chud in there. A lot of that's grease and pepper and soot. A lot of it's from the grates, to be honest. But this is all I'm really after, some nice creosote-free steel. I'm not gonna put any chemicals on the inside of the smoker because I don't wanna put any harsh cleaning agents where the food goes. So the inside, we're just gonna scrape it out, probably take a hose to it in a little bit. But mostly, we're just trying to get out all of this nastiness. Very satisfying. Also, don't forget the smokestack. There's a lot of soot that falls down from in there too. Woo! I didn't breathe that whole time. Also, pro tip, whenever you're cleaning your smoker or even just generally, always keep an eye on your thermometer probe. If these get real sooty or a bunch of creosote on there, they can give you misleading readings. Misleading readings. Yeah, so always be sure to clean these off too. Now that all the doors and walls are clean, we just gotta shovel all this stuff out of here. And again, this is a lot of grease, a lot of black pepper, a lot of creosote, a lot of ash, pretty nasty stuff. So we want to get this out of here. One alarming amount of ash and soot later, this thing is looking pretty good. And that's really all you need to do to keep your pit clean. We're no longer in grease fire territory. We're not gonna have to worry about anything falling onto our food. The grates are no longer gonna leave those nasty marks. But if you wanna take it one step further, there is always more that can be done. OG chud table, power wash. I took apart this burner, blew that all out. That felt good. There was a lot of grime in there. And this guy is looking real nice. Nice clean grates, nice clean door, firebox is cleaned out. And now we're gonna tackle the outside of this thing. So what we're gonna do is shut her down. Let's see how filthy I look. Oh, not too bad. Arm's got it pretty bad though. Messy work, messy work. Someone's gotta do it. So now I'm gonna tackle the outside of this thing. Not really a necessary step, but you know, if I'm gonna go all in, might as well. I like to do this once a year or so. So what I'm gonna do is take some heavy duty oven and grill cleaner. I'm not associated with any particular brand. This is the first one I found. And I'm gonna spray this, let it sit for a bit, and then I'll probably power wash it again. And again, I don't like to do this on the inside for poisonous reasons, but if we can get this outside nice and clean, help keep the flies off it, I'm all about that. So I'm gonna go around and spray this thing all over. I'm probably gonna do the mini chud box as well, and then we'll power wash those and see how they look. I just put on the first coat and you can see it's already starting to pull up a bunch of grime and rust and dirt and whatnot. If we compare it to the back side over here, which I haven't sprayed yet, that looks pretty normal. So this should be nice and clean in just a little bit of time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And of course we can't forget the old OG Mini Chud Box Pro. Doesn't take much to clean out the inside of these. Same great cleaning procedure. I usually use a shop vac to get all the ashes out once it's cooled down, but might as well clean the exterior while we're at it. Looking good. We're gonna let these sit for about 20-30 minutes or so, and then we will come back and hit them with the old pressure washer. And we should be left with some nice clean pits. And I gotta admit, it feels really good to finally get this done. And just like that, this pit is fully cleaned out, inside and out. No more creosote on the walls. Grates are looking good. Underneath the grates, looking real nice. But because we just sprayed this with water and took all of the oil coating that was on the inside and the outside off, this thing is gonna start rusting any minute now. So we need to fire it up and grease it up. And of course, same thing goes for the mini chud box here. This cast iron burner, I just fired up, got them hot, hit it with a little bit of spray canola oil, and they are looking much better already. While we wait for this pit to come up to temp, let's talk about the sponsor of this week's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of courses designed to help you pursue your creativity and passions no matter what they may be. Whether you're into photography, filmmaking, business, freelance, what have you, Skillshare has got you covered. And each course is presented by a professional in their respective field, so you can rest assured knowing the information you're getting is worth every penny. Also, all classes are designed for educational purposes as opposed to entertainment purposes, so you're not going to waste your time trying to filter through each and every video or each and every course, trying to find the information that you really need. Another thing I love about the Skillshare courses is that you can take them at your own time, at your own speed, and they send you periodic suggestions based on what you've already watched to make sure you're always learning and pursuing. For example, last weekend I got an email suggesting a course all about filmmaking for YouTube called Video Editing with Final Cut Pro from Beginner to YouTuber, and seeing how I use Final Cut Pro to make all of these YouTube videos, and I feel like I'm barely scratching the surface. This is definitely a course that I'm going to take. So if you're in the market to pick up some new skills or hone the ones you've already got, click the link in the description of this video taking you to Skillshare.com. The first 1,000 of you that do will receive a 1-month free trial to Skillshare Premium. Again, click the link in the description taking you to Skillshare.com. The first 1,000 people that do will get a 1-month free trial to Skillshare Premium so you can learn something new and follow your passion. Thank you, Skillshare. Now that this pit is nice and toasty, we can go ahead and start adding some seasoning oils. Generally on the inside, I like to stick with food grade oils like beef tallow or anything that comes out of a spray can. You know, canola oil, olive oil, doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna go through and make sure every surface is nicely coated. I've seen a lot of people go in there too with like paintbrushes or rolling wheels with some beef tallow and make sure everything's painted nicely in there. But this works just fine for me. And because this isn't a brand new pit, we don't really have to worry too much about the seasoning. It's already got a pretty good coating in there. The metal is already tempered and all that good stuff. And make sure this grate is nice and non-stick. We're also gonna hit this top door while we're in here. And you can do the whole pit with this stuff, which is probably what I'm gonna do today. Whenever I'm sealing a new pit with fresh steel, I'll usually hit the outside with some boiled linseed oil because that's gonna really protect the metal. But like I said, this metal has been sitting out here for 5 years and I know it's in good shape. So we're just gonna oil it up, make sure all this oil seeps into the metal so we can stave away the rust. So again, I'm gonna hit the outside as well. And this is something I do periodically whenever I have this pit fired up, especially if I'm doing a hot and fast cook. I'll go through and I'll get a spray bottle out and I'll make sure to put a nice coating of oil on it. Kind of treat it like a cast iron pan, especially on this firebox, because where all the paint has burned off, it's a lot more likely to rust. If this was a brand new pit, I would hit this with some boiled linseed oil, then probably go after it with a blowtorch just to make sure we get some really nice polymerization. But as far as your backyard pit is concerned, or if you're just doing a touch-up, this is just fine. This will do a really good job. Now that everything is nice and lubed up, we're just gonna get this thing nice and hot, probably push it up to around 450 or so, make sure all this oil cooks in, and it should be good to go. Another question I get all the time is what I use to clean my cutting board. And the answer is pretty simple. It's an all-purpose cleaner. I don't really have a brand preference or anything like that, but if I'm thinking about it when I'm at the store, I try to get something that's organic or vinegar-based or something that seems a little less deadly, but I really don't pay too much mind. I just hit it with some APC, all-purpose cleaner. What I usually do is I'll just give it a nice, good little soaky soak here, let it sit for a few minutes, and then I'll come through with the bench scraper that lives right here in every video, and I'll just... That way all fat gets scraped off, any seasonings or whatever's on there gets scraped off. Beauty of having an outdoor kitchen. And that's kind of my day-to-day in-between takes way of cleaning the cutting board. Works pretty well. Then usually once a week or so I'll come out here with some steel wool or some salt or some lemons or something like that and try and get a really good scrub on this to make sure everything's coming up and it's sanitized. Another thing I try to do at least once a month is come out here and hit it with some oil. Booze Block, this is a Booze Block. They make some really great oil, but you know, it's just name brand stuff. But any food grade mineral oil will work just fine. And I usually just give it a nice coating, take a glove and just make sure it's got a nice even application all the way around. And this stuff is great. You just put a nice thick coating on, let it sit overnight or however long you want, and then wipe away the extra. And then your board is gonna be nice and conditioned. It's gonna soften so it doesn't split or crack. And this thing has been sitting out here on my patio for 15, 17 months now, and no problems. I mean, the stain has faded a bit from all the cleaning. I've bleached it one too many times, but that's fine with me. I don't really care. It hasn't split, still works great, still looks good, so I'm happy with it. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how I clean my smoker. I really need to start doing this more often. I usually aim for every 6 months or so, but the last year has been pretty hectic. So glad I got to it this time. I hope you learned something. Hope you picked up a few tips. And yeah, please don't let your pits get as dirty as I do. We don't want any fat dripping into the firebox, causing a fire or anything like that. Also, for the mini Chud box, same thing. I'm just gonna throw some coals in there a little later on, probably right from this firebox, hit it with some spray oil, and it'll be good to go. But other than that, that is how I like to clean a smoker. Works really well. well. Again, it's pretty simple stuff. Just make sure there's no fat sitting in there, no water sitting in there. Take out all the crud and chud and pepper and all that good stuff, and you should have a pit that lasts a long time. But if you enjoyed this video, please let me know by hitting that subscribe button. If you're due for a pit clean, be sure to tag me on Instagram at ChudsBBQ. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other tips or tricks on how to clean barbecue smokers. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud, and until the next time I see you, please go cook or clean something outside. Peace!